Purchase your tracks today.
Welcome back to your favorite sports competitive gambling show. I am your host, Josh Elliott. It's season 2, baby. We're bigger, we're better, and we're expect there to be more money to be made. So we brought on some of the best sports handicappers that Twitter has to offer for the next 16 weeks. These guys are going to battle it out to find out who will win the Call Your Shot Championship. So strap in. It's going to be a good one. Let's see who's entering in the sports or gambling arena tonight. So this guy in the red corner, he once told me his name isn't a suggestion, it's a taunt. Hoping to get on the board with another W. He's the man from the West Coast, Fade My Play. How's it going, Fade?
Hey, it's going fantastic. I'm excited. I mean, we got playoff baseball going. We got NFL going. NBA is just around the corner. I couldn't be more happy about it. Let's go.
And on top of that, hockey and college football. There's lots going on.
I'm just so sad thinking about the Sharks, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm all about it.
All right, so you're going up in the blue corner. This man continues to dominate. Profited last week, 9.8 units, pretty big. Is anybody going to stop him? Surprise, I had in my notes, surprise he's on tonight because the Red Sox are playing. He is not on with us tonight, but I mean, it is this Job. He's the source. Not sure where he is. I do have his place, so I will get him out for you. Hopefully, he said he's having some trouble with the Wi-Fi, so hopefully he joins us later on. Let's go to our next matchup now. I have been told by this man not to accept a New England Patriots pick, so don't expect any Pats picks. He's looking to get his second win in a row here. Hopefully, he sees a spike play. It's Derek. How's it going, Derek?
Going well, fellas. How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, no more Patriot plays for me. I'm 0-2 on this show, and I'm giving out Patriots plays. So yeah, scratch them off the list. And just going to apologize ahead of time if you hear me cursing, screaming, throwing my phone at the TV. I got the Sox game on, so things might get animated in this room tonight.
Hey, we're always looking for animation on the show. I like it. You will be going up against, in the blue corner, seasoned veteran when it comes to Call Your Shot. He knows what it takes to get to the top, but tough to stay there, he says. Looking to get another W with some footy picks. It's Kenny Cotterill with Shooter Shoot Podcast. He's unavailable tonight. Feeling under the weather. We send our regards to him, but I got his picks as well. I will be sending them out. So let's get, right into it. Other than a little quick disclosure here, new format, 4 picks, 7 units total, most profit wins. They can make a spread pick, prop pick, total pick for any sport, anything that they think will make you money. There are no rules except for one. The value of the pick is no greater than plus 300 in American odds. We're also making these picks for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. Games picked tonight could have a potential line change or a value change. So, Arizona's favored by 5.5. Tomorrow it could be 6.5, 7.5, or the other way around. So, make these picks with us now. Grab a drink, grab your friend, grab your grandma. I don't care. Let's make some picks and let's make some money here. So I'm going to go to Fade for his first pick. What do you got for your first one?
All right, so this one is going to seem a little bit out there.
Walk us through this a little bit here. Yeah,
what?
Walk us through it.
It's going to seem a little bit out there, but there's a reason behind this. It is in the Finnish second division for soccer. Yes, I know that seems wild, but there's a reason I'm doing this. It's because, one, it's the playoffs, so there's really high tension, but also because I'm so locked in on Scandinavian football. Don't ask me why. I just love watching it. But this specific team that I'm going with, Rops or, Rovaniemi, however you pronounce it, I'm not Finnish, but they're playing at home against a decent Ekinas side, but it's playoffs. In their last 4 home games, Rops has seen not only both teams score, but it fly over. They've won 2 of them. In their last away games, Ekinas has seen both teams, the home team score in 3 of those. So I'm just thinking that we're going to see a high-scoring game here. It could end in a draw in regulation, but I love these two teams because they're two of the highest scoring teams in the league, in the division. This is for the most part, widely available bet. It's on all the books that I bet with. And I just love this opportunity. I think this game finishes 3-2 in an absolute thriller. So I'm taking Ropes on the double chance. That means for them to win or draw, and both teams to score. That's one bet. It's not a parlay. It's one bet. And that's minus 105.
I don't know soccer to begin with, but I'll tell you for free, I don't know any Finnish fucking soccer.
You should.
No,
people look, this is how I get people into Scandinavian football, right? It's because people complain that soccer is boring because there's one goal, there's two goals. Scandinavian leagues, the Finnish leagues, the Norwegian leagues, the Swedish leagues, they got goals. And that's what I'm expecting to see here.
I don't hate that. I mean, I don't mind a good old football match, but when you got a ton of goals in them, is it ROPS or Ropes, or how do you want to?
So it's, I mean, I call it Ropes just because I'm not Finnish, but the actual name of the team is Rovaniemi. So RO is the place, and then PS is essentially football club.
Okay, I got you. So what are they on the road or on the way?
They're at home.
They're at home. So what do they got to do offensively to get just to keep it within or keep it tied, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing is like these are two teams that love to score and play defense second. You know, they're they're a fantastic watch because they just refuse to play defense, but they're one of the highest scoring teams in the league. So I like them to at least keep it tied, and we see both teams score.
Sounds good. All right. I like that. I like all time goals in the football match. I'm going to go to Source for his first play. He is going with San Fran Giants money line plus 107 for 3 units. That is his max play. This is against the Dodgers coming off a high. I don't have his analysis, but walk us through we're going to go to the West Coast guy here. Faye, we're going to keep you going talking. What's his reasoning behind this pick?
All right, so there's a couple of things here. One, I mean, you can look at just the numbers and the fact that the Giants have the season, series. They took it over the Dodgers in 10-9, but also the Giants are the best team in the MLB in the first game of a series. So all year they've been winning first games of series. I think he's also probably looking at the fact that we're going to be starting Logan Webb, which is fantastic, one of our best pitchers, and coming up against a tired side that just played. They're going to travel up to San Francisco after partying all night last night. And you have Walker Buehler on the mound that we've seen can be had. I also like the fact that the Giants are one of the best teams in baseball at keeping scores close. So if they get behind, they're never too far behind, so they can still get that W in a come-from-behind fashion, which they've done multiple times. But I'll bet that he's mostly looking at the fact that the Giants match up well with the Dodgers, and they are the best team in MLB when it comes to the first game of a series.
I totally agree with you. Definitely have to bet against the Giants right now. But what do you think about the Dodgers coming in with a little bit more momentum in terms of winning that wild card?
At first I was, I hate the Dodgers. So, bias aside, I was like, the Dodgers. I mean, you look at that lineup and you're scared. You look at Max Scherzer, Walker Buehler, even Clayton Kershaw, even though I think he sucks, but like they're an amazing team. But I think that the Giants want the Dodgers because they want to show that they're better than them. They want to show that they're not afraid of them and they can beat them like they have done already this season. When it mattered most, the Giants got it done against the Dodgers in that final season series to take that lead, to keep that lead in the NL West. So I just think that this is a spot where the Giants are in a prove it mode. And like when you have the best team in baseball, and I say that by record, I say that, solely based on the numbers. But when you have the best team in baseball as an underdog, I'm always going to take that underdog. They've proven time and again, especially against the Dodgers, that they can get this W. And if you're giving me plus money on a team, I'm in.
Yeah, that's true. This is kind of a surprising line how they are underdogs. But I see, Derek, you're chomping on the bit to get talking. Fade's been taking the whole show here. Let's go to your first pick. What do you got for me, my man?
I'm going to stay in the Bay Area, but I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, +5 on the road at Arizona. Last week, San Francisco, they lost against Seattle. Box score, scoreboard. In watching the game, it didn't look like they played that well of a game. But you take a deep dive into the box score. San Francisco outgained them almost 2-1 in yardage. If not for Trenton Cannon muffing a kickoff that basically turned into a touchdown, and then the
Yep.
very next kickoff, he screwed it up again, and they started at 10-yard line. If not for that, it probably would have been a closer game. San Francisco was kind of making a comeback in that game. Going against the Cardinals, obviously everybody is high on the Cardinals right now as they are the last undefeated team in the NFL. But reason why I'm looking at this game, there's a little information nugget that I took from VSiN today, an article written by Steve Makinen. And he was taking a deep dive into teams heading into their bye week and looking at how they perform. So San Francisco, after this game, heading into their bye week, needless to say, one of the systems reads, play on any team heading into a bye week when facing a divisional opponent. That is a 38-11 ATS, so hitting at 78%. That trend is going to happen 9 times this season.
Whoa.
And this is the first time it is happening. So San Francisco is the play according to that trend. Taking it a little bit further, when you look at individual teams and how they perform going into the bye week, San Francisco is 9-1 straight up and 8-2 against the spread in pre-bye divisional games. So just looking at those two, for whatever reason, San Francisco gets up when they're going on their bye week. They perform, they show up. So I like that. And as I said, the +5 earlier, I just think we're catching a bunch of value. I feel like they are a live dog, being that the general public is kind of down on San Francisco right now, but everybody loves the Cardinals because they're undefeated and Kyler Murray's the MVP and whatnot. So I think it's a great buy low opportunity on the 49ers this weekend.
Hey, and let me just say one thing as well.
Yeah,
the public is all over the Cardinals, yet the line has come down. What does that tell you?
Exactly.
That's all I'm
Reverse
saying.
line movement there. Nope. I actually played this earlier in the week at +6, gave it to Josh at +6, but the line now is down to 5. So I said, let's take it at +5 in this spot. For the show, since not many people can catch that 6 anymore.
Now, trends aside, those are very impressive trends. Trends aside, how confident are you in this defense to shut down Kyler? Because it seems like Kyler's got about 4 or 5 weapons now that he can go to. It's not just D-Hop.
Yeah.
What does Sam Fran got to do to kind of maintain that offense?
So one thing that I look at right now is, Arizona's got great numbers on paper offensively, but who have they played? Minnesota's not a good defense. They played the Rams last week, and they did shred the Rams, which should be a better defense. And who else? Tennessee. Tennessee's defense hasn't even been on the field yet. They're not making any plays. They look like pure garbage. So I think some of these offensive numbers that Arizona's putting up are a bit inflated. To answer your question, what are the 49ers going to do? I don't even know. I don't know, because Kyler Murray has looked so damn good at just scrambling and making plays happen. They're probably going to have to create a couple of turnovers and protect the ball offensively. But I think this is a really good spot for the 49ers to stay in this game and potentially win. I look at them as a very live dog.
I look at this game as game of the week. I think this is going to be probably one of the more funner ones to watch. The 7, I like your trends and I like the stats you gave me. I am leaning Arizona. It's just kind of tough to bet against that offense right now. But I mean, hey, you like Sam Fran, and those trends, those were pretty impressive. So I like it. All right, let's go over to Kenny for his first pick. He's going a little bit of soccer World Cup qualifier. He's going with Scotland money line 3-way at -105 for 2 units. He says, and this is against Israel, he says, crucial World Cup qualifying game in Group F. Denmark will win the group easily, but Scotland is second and Israel will be third. So I like I said, not much of a footy guy, but Fade, hey, what do you think about this World Cup qualifier pick?
I think, and hey, Scotland, they should win this game, but the problem with Scotland is they don't score. All of their games come to 1-0 victories, 1-1 draws, 0-0 draws. So you're betting on a team that doesn't score often to have to score. So that's always a little bit dangerous. But that being said, they are talent-wise by far the better side. So they should be able to get this done. But I just always have trouble trusting a team that I don't trust to get goals.
Right, yeah. And I will remind you that is a three-way bet. So if it does come down to a draw, that will be nulled. Update here, just kind of a scary scene in Coastal Carolina. Have the game on. The game's been delayed about 15, 20 minutes, and they've just been trying to put somebody into the ambulance. So whoever that is, T's and P's to them. That looks like a scary moment. All right, Faye, we're going to go to your second pick. What do you got?
All right, so for my second pick, sorry, I was just looking into what that was. But going back to the Giants, we already talked about it, but it's going to be Giants' first inning. Team total over half. So essentially Giants to score in the first inning. Since the All-Star break, they have been incredible. They have been scoring in 63% of their first innings, which is an unreal run, especially for a team that wins a lot of games that go under the total. I mean, they get it done right off the bat with the top of their lineup. We've seen a lot of solo home runs from people like Tommy La Stella and Austin Slater. And so I think that this is a spot where they're going to try and do the same. Taking that a little bit further, in their last 4 games against the Dodgers, in wins and losses, 2 wins, 1 loss, but 3 out of 4 of those games have seen the Giants score at least 1 run in the first inning. Yes, this is a tough play because, I mean, all it takes is, a couple of outs and it's over. But at plus 260, the fact that they've been doing this over 60% and the fact that they've proven they can do it against the Dodgers and the Dodgers' best pitchers, I'm willing to take a shot on that, especially at plus 260.
Yeah, don't hate the flyer pick, especially because, I mean, that offense is going to be fired up. They're going to be wanting to get on the board early. So, I mean, that a flyer pick at plus 260, not a horrible idea. Now, Walker Buehler, do you think what kind of type of game do you think he's going to have kind of starting out?
Well, again, this is the other thing. So the Giants are leading the league in home runs away. They're second in the league with home runs at home. They're second in the league with overall home runs. So a lot of their scores come from those solo shots. And that's why they're winning a lot of these games, 3-1, 3-0, 4-1. And these low scores are because they're hitting solo shots and they're getting, plays late in games when they need them. And against Walker Buehler, it's one of those things where what I see happening is him coming up to the plate a little shaky and either letting somebody get on base because of a walk or giving up a solo homer. I think it's going to be one of those where all it takes is one person getting a hit and a walk or a solo shot, and I think we're going to see it. I really do. I think that we're going to see at least 1 run in the first inning from the Giants.
Don't hate it. Like I said, we're going to go to Joe for his second pick. He is rolling with, and this might be a homer pick, I don't know, the Red Sox money line plus 125 tomorrow, Friday minus 110. No, sorry, plus 125 for 2 units. I wrote that down wrong. That's okay. Now I get it. I get what he's kind of going with, maybe a little bit momentum, but let's go to a very friendly Red Sox fan. What does he think about this pick?
I don't hate it, especially after watching this garbage tonight. They do have Sale on the mound tomorrow, so getting Chris Sale at a plus 125 price, at a plus price in general, it's almost an auto pick in my opinion. But I believe Tampa is starting Shane Baz, who great up and coming starting pitcher, but this is his first taste at the postseason. He might be a bit rattled early in nerves. So I'm probably going to actually jump on that play myself tomorrow and back the Red Sox. I'm just hoping that they can grab some outs tonight and kind of save the bullpen, because I do not want to head into that game tomorrow with no bullpen.
Yeah, but that being said, though, you got Chris Sale on the mound. That, I mean, you should
be an inning eater, but then again, analytical basebal. As soon as you get to the third time of that order, they pull guys. I mean, look at the game the other night. You had Evaldi just cruising, and they pulled him at 71 pitches because of analytics say yank him. So that's the way the Red Sox operate now. So they will not hesitate to pull Chris Sale out early, but he does have the stamina. He can go deep. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully he cruises tomorrow.
Similar situation in LA yesterday with Max Scherzer on the mound, and he did not want to come out.
No,
he was also fucking trash.
That's true. That is true. But he was not. He gave Dave Roberts a very dirty look. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Derek, you got your second pick. What are you running with?
Second pick, I am going with Nebraska Saturday night at home against Michigan. Michigan is this is game 2 of a back-to-back on the road. And yes, we all know Michigan's defense has looked phenomenal. But when you take a look at who they've actually played offensively, the best team they've faced so far this year is Northern Illinois, who's ranked 72nd in the country offensively. Now they're facing Nebraska, who's number 17 in the country offensively, and they've also covered 5 straight against the spread. They did look like absolute trash week 0 when they lost to Illinois, but since then they've really come on and they've been pretty impressive. Nebraska and Michigan offense and defensively, when you look at average yards per play, they're both very, very similar. They're right there in the same realm with each other, so they're pretty close in my opinion. What else we got here? Basically, I think the 3.5 going. This is kind of my theme tonight. I'm picking all live dogs. I think Nebraska plus 3.5, very live dog here Saturday night. And the little thing that I put in here was just hoping that Nebraska's bad special teams, because they are pretty bad when it comes to that category. I'm just hoping that's not what kind of screws them over in this game. But like I said, I see a potential outright victory, and I love having that hook on the 3. So I'm going to back Nebraska at home Saturday night.
Question for you. Are you calling Northern Illinois' offense better than Wisconsin's?
Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry. I forgot they played Wisconsin. What a juggernaut offense they
Yeah.
Man, I have seen high school teams run better offenses than that. What is up with Wisconsin? I think I tweeted this out last week. Like, why are they still running a 1940s offense? Like, go recruit a quarterback that can actually run an RPO. Like, That's today's game. Instead, they get these guys that are, granted, Mertz is a 5-star recruit, but he doesn't look like one. I mean, it's such a bad offense. I hate the way they structure it.
That being said, though, I think they have they run the ball more than anybody in college football. Which, I mean, maybe he's not. Maybe he has he has a leash on him a little bit right now. But I mean, I don't know. That was a complete mismatch against Michigan last week. I don't know why the line was. I think Michigan was underdogs. They were underdogs at like 2.5.
I fell for it. I fell for it. I took Wisconsin last week, so
did you?
I took that one on the chin, and I just said, "Wow." I mean, it was just.
I had to compare.
I was so wrong.
I had to compare the Wisconsin loss to Notre Dame the week before, and it was the exact same game, exact same game, right? All right, let's keep moving here. We're gonna go to Kenny for his second pick. He's going with England first half. Minus 1.5. Do you call that a ball line?
No. Goal line.
Okay, goal line. There we go.
Spread.
Goal line. He's taking the spread at minus 115 first half. This is against Andorra. Fun fact for you. Today I was years old when I found out Andorra was a country. Andorra is awful. Andorra is awful. They have given up 14 goals in 16 games. Wow. England has scored 18. England beat them 4-0 in September at home. Only one first half goal then, but doesn't change that they should beat this down Andorra early and often. Now, I don't know what Andorra has on the other side. I didn't even know they were a country, first of all. But England, obviously, powerhouse when it comes to soccer. But this is kind of a bold bet when it comes to soccer, betting a team to go up, be at least up by 2 at half. What do you think of this, Fade?
I mean, this is a situation where, this is the right play in terms of what the stats say. Andorra just doesn't have the talent. They don't have any top division players in their national team. Meanwhile, England is just chock full of the best players in the world. They're a top 5 team in the world. But also, being honest, like talking to a lot of the soccer handicappers that I know, a lot of the analytics sites, England is predicted to win this one 6-0, so getting 2 in the first half.
Whoa!
It's also a situation where you're betting on England to score 2 because Andorra will be held to 0 because of the fact that England has some of the best defenders in the world. I mean, we're talking fantastic defense, a very mediocre goalkeeper, but I just see this as a situation where England can choose how and when they want to win the game. They can go 1-0 into the half and then turn it on for the second and score 6. They could score 6 in the first half, take out a bunch of starters, So on paper, this is 100% the right play.
That's a big, 100%. Like 6 goals are projected to win by. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the halfway point of the show. You know what that means. The player pick of the week when shopping online, www.playergolf.com. Make sure to use promo code BETTHEOVER for 20% off. I'm obviously wearing the hat. and the sweater I got on today. Nobody else has any player gear, but that's okay. When they shop online, make sure to use that promo code BetTheOver. Now, the player pick this week is going to be college football, Georgia Tech, 4.5, and that is against Duke. Duke is a horrible football team. They just got shit-hauled by North Carolina, I think 2 weeks ago. They do not look good offensively. And then I believe last week, Georgia Tech just shit-hauled North Carolina at home. They are on the road here. Georgia Tech is on the road, but I do not trust Georgia Tech's offense. They will bring nothing to the table. Georgia Tech should be able to roll over them pretty easily. I suspect this line will jump. It already has jumped a point, I'm pretty sure. So I would hammer this now if you can, because I think they're going to win by at least 10, if not more. In this line, I would assume it will be closer to 5, maybe even closer to a touchdown come kickoff. So I like Georgia Tech to cover that 4.5. It was 3.5. I should have jumped on that earlier, but hey, it is what it is. That's what we do. 2 units on that one. We're going to go down to Fade for his first or third play. What do you got for me, Fade?
All right, so this is a 2-unit play for me. This is Ipswich Town. Team total over 1.5, them to score 2 goals or more. I know we're going back to, deep divisional soccer. This is going to be the 3rd tier in England in League One, but there's a very specific reason, again, picking our spots here. This is just a situational matchup. This is a Ipswich Town team that at home, they average 2.25 goals, and they're playing against a team that averages giving up 1.75 on the road. So to me, you even those out, that's bang on 2. They've also in their last 4 games scored 2 or more goals in 3 of them. I just think that this is a situation where they have the upper hand. They're the better team, and they are a very fast-paced attacking team. I think that they can get to 2 and at even money. I like that better than them on the money line.
Sounds good. Yeah. So just question for you. Didn't you have Ipswich in an earlier play?
No, I did not.
No, but like
today,
earlier on in the year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, man. I love my League One. I love my English soccer. I'll pick these deep teams all the time. My dad used to live in Ipswich, so, it's a near and dear to my heart type of play here.
Okay, so quick question for you. Not really the Ukrainian Football League, so might not be a ton of goals, but you think there should be 2? Do you think, what do they got to do offensively to get there?
Well, I mean, Ipswich alone, I think that they're going to get 3 personally. I think this game finishes 3-1. But even if it, 2-0, 2-1, obviously that works for us. But it's more about playing the stats. Ipswich love to score at home. It's where they do most of their scoring. They're a fantastic team at home. They're playing at home against a worse side that loves to give up goals on the road. So I like Ipswich to easily be able to cover this one.
All right, fair enough. We're going to go to Joe for his third pick. Joe, he is going with Milwaukee Brewers money line -135 for 1 unit. He has got that line. Now this is against the Atlanta Braves, right? Kind of a surprising pick that the line already got. It was at -135, but I mean, that will jump. I don't know. This is kind of one of those things where it's like Atlanta has been kind of hot as of late, so I don't know if I really want to bet against them. But Milwaukee, it's tough to bet against what their bullpen can bring as well as their offense. Christian Yelich has been very cold this year, kind of a surprising surprising streak, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, they obviously can bring it. There's a reason why they're number 1 in their division. What do you guys think about this play?
I like this play. So I put out earlier this week. I'm on the Brewers for the series here.
Yeah,
so I do like this play. I think we're going to be in for a pretty low scoring pitchers duel type of series. And I just got to give the upper hand to the Brewers there. I mean, they've got 3 fantastic starting pitches, very deep bullpen. The late season injury by Devin Williams, that is going to kill them. Mm-hmm. Stop punching stuff, guys. You're a pitcher. You need that hand. Yeah. But, I just think that the Brewers better team all around. They probably have the better higher end talent as well on their roster, but the Braves no slouch either. I just got to give a little bit of a nod to the Brewers here because of their starting pitching and bullpen.
I'm assuming Max Fried will be on the mound for the Braves.
No,
I'm not sure who's pitching for the Braves.
Who is pitching?
I have it right here. Hold on. Here we go. For the Braves, we're gonna have. It is Max Fried. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah.
No. It's Charlie Morton.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like the Braves, especially at home. Tough to bet against them. They're electric at home. Brewer Country will be absolutely electric as well. So,
Burns, man.
let's keep it moving. Derek, what do you got for your third pick?
Sticking with the underdogs, I am taking Rutgers +5 for 2 units. Home dog, it's homecoming day there as well. Rutgers, they've looked pretty impressive to me through their first 4 games, especially the loss at Michigan. Even though they lost, they looked really, really good, and they outgained Michigan by 75 yards in that game. And they lost by 7 as a 20-point dog on the road. So it was really, really great showing. Last week, obviously, they got smoked by Ohio State, but you just knew Ohio State was due to just absolutely whoop somebody after their struggles to start the season. Anyways, Rutgers defense currently holding opponents to 128 yards less than their season average, while Michigan State is actually giving up 5 yards more to teams than their season average. So definitely 2 teams going in different directions, even though on the defensive side of the ball. Michigan State, no slouch. They've looked great. 5-0 start to the season. However, in their last 2 weeks, they've been outgained yardage-wise, first by Nebraska, who should have probably ended up winning that game, but they lost in overtime. And then last week, Western Kentucky outgained Michigan State. And that game really wasn't, Michigan State really didn't have that game in hand, even though the final score said otherwise. That was a pretty nip-and-tuck game. But yeah, I think the regression is starting to happen up there in East Lansing. So I just expect them to start coming back to earth after that 5-0 nice start. So I'm going to take Rutgers +5 again. Another live home dog that I actually think this might be my favorite play. I think Rutgers does get the outright this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, kind of. I mean, Michigan State, they started out hot, and they still are kind of hot, I guess. But I mean, like you said, the games against Nebraska and then I watched part of that Western Kentucky game. I mean, it was kind of sloppy at times in terms of defense. And their defense was not really that great.
No, not good at all. No.
Yeah. So, no, I definitely agree with you. The Rutgers have been rolling. They're kind of one of those teams that just, the teams might look past them maybe.
I agree.
Just,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's just one of those teams that just you look past and you don't worry about, but really they're just a scrappy team that's going to give you a game every single week. So, I definitely like the pick. All right, let's go over to Kenny for his third pick. He is going with the Washington football team, money line, +110 for 2.5 units. I'm going to grab his analysis here. He says, I just think New Orleans are frauds, even more so than the Washington football defense is. Interesting. Heineke isn't that bad, and if the Giants can score on them, so can Washington. They will pressure Winston enough to snag the victory. Yeah, I definitely can tell his concerns with the Washington defense, considering it's not where it's supposed to be. But I mean, Danny Dimes, you got to give Danny Dimes a little bit of credit. I mean, he was slinging it, a couple weeks ago there. But I don't know. This is kind of a toss-up game for me. I don't know what it feels like New Orleans kind of has. They bring it some weeks and then just they just shut her down other weeks. So it's tough to kind of tell. I do think this is a Saints offense and that can beat Washington, but you just don't know what kind of team they're going to bring out. What do you guys think?
Well, I just got to say, I don't know if you guys saw, but you have Washington's team, but also their team doctors and pharmacists all just got a DEA raid because apparently they've been holding back held prescriptions and blah, blah, blah. And so essentially you're looking at, a team that's going through a lot of emotional shit right now, finding out that, we have big drug problems and we have guys stealing shit from our own team and et cetera. So they might not be in the best headspace this weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Definitely a big distraction for that locker room. Me personally, I lean Saints in this game. I don't have a play at the moment, but yeah, I definitely agree with you that's a huge distraction to the team.
Wow. I did not know that. That's the first I've heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if it happened yesterday in the morning or Tuesday morning, but yeah, it just happened within the last couple of days.
No shit. That's going to be a distraction trying to get your team ready to go. Yeah, crazy. I'm kind of leaning on the Saints on this one, but Kenny's confident. He's after a 3-1 lead last week, it's tough to go against him, but he likes Washington. So That brings us to the end of the third round. Just before, guys, so you see some of those lines that say Bet US. Bet US, America's favorite sports book. When you go on, sign up, deposit. When you do that deposit, use promo code Call Your Shot for a 125% deposit match. Or I'll post the link below either today or tomorrow, and just hit that link and you'll get that same deposit. So they're America's favorite sports book. I've been using them here for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and they've been great. They've been great to me. So make sure to check them out. All right, Faye, let's bring it home with your last pick. What do you got?
All right, this is going to be my last pick, my biggest pick. It's going to be Wake Forest -6. This is one of those rare spots for me where it's two different major aspects, one about each team, that led me to this pick. I would have taken Wake Forest at 7, maybe even a few more points, because I think that we're seeing two different things happening here. First being Wake Forest let Louisville score 34 points, which is ridiculous because Louisville is trash, but they're getting better. And also Wake Forest just had a bad defensive game. If you see what they did, it just was not an effective way of playing. I think that Wake Forest just had an off day with their defense. They still scored 37 points and they got the W. That's what matters. And so I am given more confidence by that. I love what I've seen from them the past 3 games before that. They beat Virginia by 20. They beat FSU by 21. They beat, Norfolk State, who really cares about that, but they beat them, by 25. But also the second part of this is that I think Syracuse is being way overrated here because they held Florida State close. We're talking about a Florida State team that is so bad, and they gave up 33 points to Florida State. Mm-hmm. Wake Forest gave up 14 to Florida State. So if we're talking about kind of comparative analytics here, Syracuse should not be anywhere near Wake Forest, and especially with Wake getting their defense back on track. I think Syracuse max scores 14 maybe points in this game, maybe 17. I think that we see Wake Forest put up numbers in the 30s. I like this. I might take an alt spread just for myself of like -14, just like for the sake of it, because I do think this is going to be an absolute drubbing by Wake Forest. I think they got a wake-up call against Louisville, and they're going to come out absolutely swinging.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Fade. I like that play as well.
This line should not be where it is with Syracuse on the other end.
No.
Just a horrible team. And Wake Forest, like you said, they had an off day the other day, and that happens, right? But I don't know if they're overcompensating for that. I don't know what, but this line should be at 10 at the very least. That's just my personal opinion.
Market's definitely a little high on Syracuse right now. As you said, they stayed close with Florida State the week before. They beat Liberty at home. So, it's fresh in the market's mind right now that, Syracuse is actually performing. And conversely, Wake Forest didn't play well last week. But otherwise, I've been very impressed with the way they've been playing this year.
Yeah.
This will likely be a play on my Saturday card this weekend. I do like it.
I already got it outside.
And think about like, last thing I'll say about it is this. Just think about the fact that the first time that Syracuse has put up, anything more than 29 points, so 30 points, was against Florida State. But the first time Florida State's done that was against Syracuse. Meanwhile, Wake held FSU to 14. It's just like, I just do not see how people are seeing them as a competitor here, especially with Wake being one of the last undefeated teams, in the lower tier. So, it's just a hammer spot for me.
100%. I agree with you. Already got it for just a bit outside. So all right, let's move on to Job's last pick. He's running with Memphis football here, +3 at -110 for a unit. They're playing Tulsa. I'm just thinking that this is a complete fade Tulsa pick, considering. Tulsa has not looked good. They're not playing up to what they're supposed to be. Just beat Arkansas State barely. I think they won by just a touchdown. And Memphis, I think that D is pretty good. So I'm just assuming, you guys can chime in here, but I'm assuming that he thinks that Memphis is going to be able to shut down that Tulsa offense. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I actually talked to him a little bit earlier about this play. He wanted to jump on the 3 because he believed the line was going to tick down to 2.5. So I applaud him, made the right move, get that field goal. And while we were talking, we brought up Arkansas State being that common opponent where Memphis beat them by 5, but it was on the road, whereas Tulsa beat them by 6 or 7, but they were at home. I didn't really have any type of gut feel for this game on the side, but I kind of lean towards the over, which I believe is like 61-62. I see both teams scoring in the 30s in this game. Definitely see that over hitting. But yeah, gun to my head, if I had to pick a side, Memphis the points is the way I would lean.
I would too. Yeah. No, for sure.
There's still a couple of 3.5s out there as well, but they're disappearing quick.
Yeah, jump on it if you can. All right, Derek, bring us home with your last pick.
Last pick, I am going with the LSU Tigers plus 3.5 minus 105. Excuse me, plus 3 minus 105. They're going up against Kentucky on the road. Kentucky has an impressive record, but they have not beat anybody until last week when they beat Florida. Box score tells a little bit of a different story when you look at that game against Florida. Florida outgained them almost 2-1 in that game, and Kentucky scored on a 76-yard blocked field goal, and their game-winning touchdown came on short field because of an interception by Florida. They started that drive at Florida's 29-yard line. That's 2 of their 3 touchdowns right there. So to me, that was not a game that Kentucky won. That was more of a game that Florida lost, and they just blew that game. On the other end, last week, LSU, they lost a game to at home against Auburn, in which LSU is pretty much in control of that game first through the third quarter. They gave up 2 touchdowns in the fourth. That is what lost it for them. But watching the game back, what really killed LSU is they just kept stalling on drives. They took 3 failed goals early in the game where they were in the red zone. I believe one time they were at like the 14-yard line, another time at the 11, and then there was another time where they were inside the 10. I mean,
can't do that in college.
Exactly. Put one of those in the end zone for the love of God, please. But yeah, that's my take on those 2 teams. Another little stat that I was reading. So Mark Stoops, the head coach of Kentucky, he is 1-9 versus the SEC West. Outside of playing Mississippi State, because Mississippi State sucks. And then in that same time frame, LSU is 10-3 straight up and against the spread when playing an SEC East team. So to me, this just feels like a total letdown spot for Kentucky, who's riding high. The students stormed the field after the win last week, and so they're feeling like kings on campus this week. And LSU, they need a win. They're desperate for a win. I think that they just have that taste of shit in their mouth after the way the game ended last week, that they just want to come out here and smack the hell out of somebody. So another game where I'm taking the underdog that I think can win outright.
Yeah, even after a lackluster start, and even though they've lost their last game against Auburn, still look pretty decent against a top 20 team.
Yeah, and they played well against UCLA earlier in the year. So their losses are UCLA and Auburn, which are 2 teams that are better than anybody that Kentucky has played outside of Florida. So, yeah, I mean, I just think LSU's the more battle-tested. And plus, you got Ed Orgeron, who's on the hot seat right now for whatever reason. I don't know. So I think this is just a game where they rally around him. He fires them up. I think LSU can win this game here.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I got to run because I got to go grab my baby. But I will say this. It's a homer pick for me now. But your stats on Niners +5 in terms of going into, the bye week and all that against division, I mean, you just made this an irresponsible gambling bet for me. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much, fellas. I'll catch you next time. Best of luck to all you.
All right, we're going to bring it home with Kenny's last pick here. He's going with Green Bay -3 to cover the spread, -115 for 1.5 units. He says since he haven't really beaten anyone yet. Green Bay is in form. Even on the road, I like Green Bay to win by multiple scores against that average Bengals defense. This isn't – I mean, I hate to be the guy that kind of fades Kenny, but this is kind of another one that I just like, that Cincy offense looks really good right now. And, I mean, there's nothing on the defensive side for Green Bay, so I could definitely see Joey Burrow just outscoring Aaron Rodgers possibly. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. What do you got? Quick 2 cents on that.
I'm kind of with you on that one. I want to bet the Bengals so bad in this,
Mhm.
but I just don't have it in me to do that. I just can't trust them.
Yeah.
But for the same reasons, I think Cincinnati can score on this defense. So one of my plays this weekend probably will actually be the over in this game. I think both teams are going to score mid to upper 20s and get this game over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much of me wants to bet the Bengals in this game this weekend. I just like it. I like it.
I agree with it. All right, Kate. So that brings us to the end of the show here. I'm just going to do a quick confirmation of picks and then sign off for Derek and myself and call her a night. So Fade, he's going with ropes to keep it within or plus 0.5, and both teams to score at minus 105 for, I believe that is minus 105 for 1.5 units. And then he's going Giants first inning team total over a half a run for plus 260 for a unit. Ipswich team total over 1.5 goals at even money for 2 units. And then he's going Wake Forest -6 at minus 110 for 2.5 units. You can catch him at Fade My Play on Twitter for more picks. He's always posting picks on BTV and whatnot. So, and then we're going to go to Source. Source, he's going Giants money line plus 107 for 3 units. Red Sox homer pick plus 125 for 2 units. Milwaukee Brewers money line minus 135, I believe that was, for a unit. And then Memphis College Football Saturday to cover the 3 points minus 110 for a unit. You can catch him at Source Podcast 11. Another guy that gives out free picks every single day for college football, NFL football, and baseball. He's a big baseball guy, so check him out. And then Derek, you're going to go with – actually, I'm going to go with Kenny first. Kenny, he's going with Scotland 3-way money line minus 105 for 2 units. England first half to cover the goal line 1.5 minus 115 for a unit. And then Washington football team plus 110 for 2.5 units against the Saints. And then Green Bay -3 to cover that 3 spread at minus 115 for unit and a half. You can catch him at shooters_pod. He's got lots going on. If you're into basketball, he's getting ready for some basketball shows coming up here. So make sure to check him out. Now we're gonna go over to Derek. Derek, you're going with Giants to cover the 5 points minus 110 for 2 units. Nebraska to cover the 3.5 spread for 2 units. Rutgers to cover the 5 for 2 units as well. And then LSU to cover the 3 points at minus 105 for a unit. Is that all correct? And where can they find you?
That is correct. You can find me at ActionJackson100 on Twitter. Post lots of free plays. Looking forward to hockey starting up next week.
Yeah.
You can catch a lot of hockey plays from me out there. So yeah, that's it. Come check me out.
Sounds good, man. You can catch a lot of hockey plays for me here too. I'm looking forward to that. So like I said, the player pick of the week is going to be Georgia Tech minus 4.5 to cover that spread at minus 110 for 2 units. And yeah, I've been your host, Josh Elliott. This has been lots of fun. Let's make some money this weekend, shall we?